You can get stone milled flour, meals, and mixes milled right here in Calaveras County. Milled from organic grains grown in the Northern California region. Do you have trouble processing flour products? Desperately miss sourdough bread? Toasted? A little bit of butter? Maybe a lot of butter? Maybe a whole lot of butter? Maybe drowning in butter? My mom is one that has trouble processing flour products, and she can't eat bread. And so I feel for those that share that with her. But the good news is Early Bird Farm and Mill in Wilseyville might have an answer for you and my mom. I'm Jason Currier with the Sierra Lodestar, and I met with Dan Speroni at his micro farm, Early Bird Farm and Mill, in the quiet hills of Wilseyville. Drew was kind enough to give us a tour of his mill and had some really interesting facts about flour and the process of making flour and how the process of it, like at a large factory, is actually leading to it being a little difficult for people to process. So I thought it was some really interesting stuff. He also walked us around the property and shared his vision of the future of his micro farm. And he's got some pretty cool plans that he's planning on doing with his property. And hopefully you guys enjoy this video half as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I had a really good time meeting Drew, and like I say, he had some really interesting facts that he shared with us, and it was a good time. And he's got a beautiful piece of property that he's got some big plans for. And before we get into the video, I wanted to share his signature on his email. When we set up the interview, we exchanged email back and forth, and this is part of Drew's email signature I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's pretty great, and wanted to share it before we get to the video here. Early Bird Farm and Mill is a family business who believes all good things come from a primary focus upon the forging of healthy relationships. The care and consideration for the relationships with our customers, our team, our community, our farmers, our grains, our harvest, and the air, water, and soil life we steward leads inevitably to the best stone-milled flours, meals, and mixes that, of course, come from organic, regeneratively grown grains prepared slowly and carefully for our home bakers and chefs to create culinary delights for their families and communities. Spreading the love one grain at a time. Isn't that fantastic? I thought that was great, and I'd share that before we get the video started. So hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully you enjoyed the video coming up. Like I said, I thought it was really interesting, and I know I'm personally going to give Early Bird Farm products a try myself. So hopefully you guys do too. Thank you guys. Like I say, give us a like and a thumbs up, and click subscribe. Don't forget to click that notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. Thank you guys.
24-inch mill. We can mill about 150 pounds an hour.
Wow.
With that mill.
Wow.
And then we have this little mill over here. This is a Diamants from Denmark. And so that mill there we use for corn mostly, for milling polenta and cornmeal.
Wow.
And this is our sifter for sifting the cornmeal to get it to the right consistency, and grits also. We use this little mill. This was the first mill I ever had. I built the table for it and stuff, and that's we mill grits with that.
Oh, is that right? Still use it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that behind it is an extruder. When we get that hooked up, we're going to start making corn puffs and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
All organic.
So is it all made off the same base material, just how you process it?
Yeah, how we prepare it. Yeah, so Like for example, here we've got, let's see what I showed you. So here is some blue corn, some Kentucky blue corn right here.
Oh, wow.
Right, and so that we mill into like a blue corn polenta, like this.
Oh, wow.
You know, so this is our blue corn meal. And so the Diamant is the machine that helps us to do that, and then we sift it to the right consistency, taking off kind of the outer kernel, the lightest part, so that when you cook it, you don't have like little floaters on the top.
Right.
It like cooks well. But yeah, and then these are like our white corn grits that we have, and this is pumpernickel flour, which is like a coarser ground rye, and we actually use Diamant to make that because it's coarser ground. These other ones, I used to be a precision machinist.
Oh.
And so I grew up in a machine shop, and so I developed my own way of dressing the millstones, preparing the millstones for grinding, so that you know, I measure them and stuff, so that we have a really fine flour, and it keeps everything really, really cool. So it keeps all the nutrients and flavor all intact when it's ground. A lot of mills, they just, you know, pulverize the grains, and you just destroy all of the germ and all of the good minerals. Everything just gets pulverized, so you can't, you know, your body just flushes it out.
Really?
And you have whole grains that are ground carefully, you know, then when you cook it, you get all of the enzymes, and you get, you know, if you like fresh, slow ferment sourdough bread, you know, you get like, not only do you get the flavor, because you keep it all intact, but also the nutrition is all still there. Especially like if you have whole grain, you have the outer kernel of the bran is it's insoluble fibers, right? And so a lot of people, they say, oh, I can't eat wheat. Well, the reason is because they're eating highly processed white flour, which doesn't have the insoluble fibers. The insoluble fibers help you break down that protein, those glutens, which are, you know, hard. It's like when you eat a hard berry, is, you know, it's hard. I can show you. Let's see. Let's see. Even this berry, this is a soft white wheat berry, and they're still really hard. You know, you could break your tooth on it. You know, so you wonder why people consume white flour and they can't digest it, because it's not whole grain. It doesn't have the bran, which is the outer husk, and then and it has all the flavor. And then the germ is like the living part, right? That has all the enzymes and all of the you know, phytochemicals, nutrients, all the antioxidants, stuff that helps your body to process it. You know.
So when someone can't process just standard old white flour, it's because it's been overmilled and it's just pulverized.
Yeah, it's because they've taken the bran and the germ out. We have so many customers that can eat just our flour, right? Because it's whole grain and it's fresh milled, and they know that it's regeneratively grown. And you know, I've taken samples of our grain and compared it with other bigger operations that are still organic, but they're bigger operations. They're just not paying attention to the soil food web and these kind of things. Took it to the bread lab in Woodland, and there was they were twice the size. The grains were twice the size. They had way better flavor. They had better oven spring. They had lower protein content because of where it's grown. However, the proteins were way higher quality. And so they had better stretchability, better rise, all of those things, simply because of the way that we're taking care of the soil.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
What a trip. Something you just really don't even think about.
Right. No, and most people don't think about at all. Like if you go to the store and you get wheat crackers or whatever, what's in it. Most of the time, even if it's whole grain, it's roller milled, which means they're separating the bran and the germ and the endosperm, the three parts. They just take the endosperm, which is just the protein, just the white flour. It's like the meat inside the grain. And that's what they make white flour. They'll add in some bran, usually not any germ, because the germ will spoil. So it'll have a longer shelf life. That's actually why we started roller milling, was because you get a longer shelf life. But the thing is, they had to reconstitute that, add in, right? You get fortified flour, right? Vitamins fortified enriched with vitamins and minerals. Because white flour, if you take out the bran and the germ, it's incomplete. It doesn't have everything it needs, right?
Wow.
So what do? They add it back in. Oh, you have it, but no, you don't. So you can't digest it.
It's not
just
doing you any good. It's just there.
It's doing enough good to keep you alive,
right?
Because when they first did it, they had kids getting sick in the 1800s in New York. They couldn't figure out why.
Oh wow!
It's because of the white flour. It's like, wow. Just add it back in.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a trip.
Yeah. So it's always better just.
So when they add it back in, how do they what's that process?
So when they separate and then they add back in the bran. They grind it fine
and then add
some
it back in.
Because actually you only need to call it 100% whole grain. You need it to be 51% whole grain, according to the FDA.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much for 100% whole grain.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
As long as it's over 50%, you're good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Huh. FDA lets people get away with a lot of stuff when it comes to our food system.
So, what's the reason for removing it in the first place? Is it just for shelf life?
Shelf life.
Yeah, that's what the goal was.
And you get a better rise, right? Where people have really come to love Wonder Bread. Well, what's Wonder Bread? It's just that super white flour, right? You take out all the bran germ and grind it very, very fine. And so, so we have a grant that's helped us to rebuild our farm. Yeah. And we're building a new mill with that. And so the point of the grant is so that we can get fresh whole grains and fresh food to our schools. So we're supplying Mount Diablo School District. We're working on San Francisco School District, Calaveras. We're talking with people.
Nice.
We're already supplying Mount Diablo School District.
Very nice.
And so what we're doing is we're building this new mill because last year we sold them a bunch of whole grain hard bread. Well, the kids wouldn't eat it because it's colored different. Like it's like darker colored. Like, that's whole grain. You don't want that. So what we're doing is we're building this new mill that it's an open source technology from France, where what they do is they just shave out just the right outside part of the bran. Yeah. So the color is gone. Really? And then grind the rest of it. So we'll get so it's a roller mill composite stone mill. So it'll roll out just that little bit and then stone mill the rest. So you're gonna get like 80% whole grain flour. Wow. You still get the bran and the germ in there, so you don't get the color. Right? And so then we're gonna we're fooling the kids a little bit. By giving them what they need. Right. So that's what we're
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Wow.
We're hoping to fool a lot of other people too. Right. Get people who are like, oh no, I can't do whole grains. Well, they're going to do this flour. Right. So it's going to be more what they're familiar with. It's going to have a better rise and better kind of consistency. Right. But it still has the flavor. It still has all the nutrients that the whole grain has.
So, let's say somebody just Joe Schmo comes and buys a bag of your flour and he just wants to try it. Well, I mean, they're going to notice a difference, right?
Definitely, yeah. But with the flavor, with the density, composition, like if they're making bread on a regular and they've never used this kind of flour, they'll go, oh, this is dense. I have to learn to let the water absorb more, maybe use a little bit more water. Wow. Give it time for the enzymes and the proteins to work. Right. It's an art of using whole grains. And so, we've been experimenting lately with a bread machine because bread machines are coming back in style. People are using bread machines more. Well, we got our bread machine just recently and we followed the recipes that they give you. Terrible.
Is that right? Oh,
nothing. Wow. For whole grains, whatever, nothing.
No kidding.
So we're experimenting and we're trying to figure out how are we going to get this bread machine to work with our stuff.
Your
so
product.
that we can then share some recipes.
Wow.
We have recipes on our website and videos. Right. I have a demonstration video how we do slow ferment sourdough bread, stuff like that. And so, we want our customers to be able to use the bread machine. Right. So we're going to figure out. Right.
That sounds like a lot of experimenting and trial and error.
We do that a lot. We have our bread blend. I have a friend, Phil, who passed away a few years ago, and he's the one who mentored me in making sourdough bread. And so I experimented for a long time with these sourdough to get this really good blend that we sell now, which is it has a Abruzzi rye, which is an Italian heritage rye grain, and Whitwalkering, which is a soft white. It's also a heritage grain, and then some hard red spring wheat, and we sift it just right and blend it just right, and it makes just a delicious bread.
Wow.
Also makes like cookies, and
Wow.
you can make anything with it, you know,
Right.
muffins.
Right.
It's pretty versatile.
And it's a good whole grain, not.
Yeah, 100% whole grain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. And again, like something that you just don't. I would imagine that there's a lot of people that just write off that they just can't do gluten. So
It's
they
true.
don't.
More than once, I'm at the farmer's market, and somebody comes up to me after using our product, or one time they went to a bakery that uses our product, and they say, "Hey, we heard you use," and they're in tears. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm so grateful. I can eat bread again. Thank you so much."
Wow.
Because bread of life, right? Like,
Yeah,
why can't we eat
like
bread,
not being able to eat bread is a big thing.
right?
Yeah.
And so everybody's going gluten free. Okay, but what about like the reason why people
Right.
are going gluten free? It's because of the grain. It's because how the grain is grown and how it's processed
Wow.
and how it's prepared.
Wow.
So that's kind of my job, is like not just milling the flour, but also educating people on like
Right.
why we do what we do
Right.
and why it's important.
Right. And a little experimenting in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually getting to pull these millstones. The stones are coming from a quarry just down south of here.
Oh, is that right? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Local on local.
Totally local.
Wow.
Mill and
Wow.
everything. It's going to be pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So where do you guys grow the grain itself?
Yeah, we partner with a few farms because we can't grow any on our own right now. We're building something here, but it is a micro farm, so we're going to be doing a lot of educational stuff. We're going to do demonstration crops and seed saving and stuff like that. But Pleasant Grove Farms is right outside of Sacramento Valley.
Okay.
We partner with them. They grow a lot of our grains, and they're all regenerative and organically grown. They grow beans and rice and lots of different things. And then let's see, a few different farms, that we partner with throughout the valley that are smaller,
Right.
that we do.
So
That's
even
the
your
biggest farm that we partner with to be able to provide flour for Whole Foods Market for all of Northern California and Reno.
Wow.
Where we provide cornmeal and polenta and stuff like that to Produce Express, who they deliver to restaurants and places all over the Sacramento Valley.
Wow.
So
even the base of your product is somewhat local too. Like it's local all the way.
We focus on Northern California. That's our focus.
That's very cool.
While we do ship, small amounts online, you can order from anywhere in the country. Our main focus is educating people online,
Right.
and also just providing all of Northern California with
Right.
whole grain
Wow.
and flowers.
So how can folks find you? Let's say someone's listening to this right now and they're not in Calaveras or even near Calaveras, but they want to go ahead and give your product a try. What?
Yeah, Early Bird NC, like Northern California, earlybirdnc.com. That's where we are.
That's where you live.
And we've got a farm store you can order online. We also got a bunch of recipes on there and videos, and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Early Bird Farm and Mill on Instagram. I've been making videos, educational videos, where you can follow as we're building this new farm. We're kind of from ground floor cutting down trees. We're like showing like every step of the way as we build this educational farm.
Wow.
My wife, she's a marriage and family therapist, and I've done life coaching and these kind of things. And when people come often to the farm in Nevada County, when we were there for 13 years, people would come and just want to help out on the farm, volunteer, and they would go through a healing process. It's like going through, like when they get their hands in the soil and they get to build relationships with people and kind of a network of community, there's like this healing process that happens. And so here in our new location here, we're doing that more intentionally. And so we're going to have workshops and retreats and stuff on family dynamics and emotional resilience and community building, and also educating people about fresh food and some farm to table events and parties.
Nice.
And stuff like that. So
How long have you guys been here then?
we've been here 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there nothing here. This was just a big barn, and so we've been building this.
Wow.
We certified this location with the state, so our focus has been just the mill and getting this all dialed in. We're
a lot of
just
work.
about to certify organic. We've been going through.
Oh,
the process,
really?
And any day now, we should get the notice saying, "Okay, you're good."
Nice.
We're excited.
I bet that's quite a process.
Yeah, it's been a long process, especially for processing facilities.
Right.
It's really involved.
Right.
And so, and then we're rebuilding the farm thanks to the grant. And we're able, because when we moved here, I sold my tractor, I sold my greenhouse, I sold everything just to make the move.
To get here.
So we're just so grateful that we were able to connect with CDFA to get this farm to school.
Right.
This is what we've been doing already.
Right.
We're already providing the schools, we're already educating, it's like it just goes right together.
Right. Where'd you guys come from?
Yeah. We're in Nevada City for 13 years.
Gotcha.
And
so not too far.
Mm-hmm. I was born in Oakland.
Oh, no kidding.
I grew up in the East Bay in a little small farm in the East Bay.
Nice.
And I kept building closer and closer.
Yeah.
By the time I was 17, I'm like, I'm out of here. And I actually moved to Calaveras County. When I was in my 20s.
Okay.
I did logging and lumber up in Calaveras County for a while, up in Camp Connell and Arnold area. And then I moved to Nevada City. And then now I'm back in Calaveras County. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Great to have you. Yeah. Very cool thing you guys got going on here.
Yeah, we're just happy to do it. It's
Yeah.
a labor of love. We've been through a lot,
Yeah.
I had 2 new discs put in my neck.
Oh, wow. He's been through a lot.
Immobile for like a year and a half, like during the move.
Oh, goodness. Well, how in the world do you manage that?
Yeah, no, grace of God, for sure. Like, and community.
Yeah.
For sure. If we did not have the community that we had built, like in COVID, we have this community that we really build on. And then the owners of the property we were on wanted to sell it to us, but we just weren't in a position to be able to purchase their property.
Right.
And it wasn't a good fit because we were building the mill out, and we have 3-phase power, so we're able to continue to expand the mill. And Wow. And I'm grateful to be able to work where I live, work outside, and then have the flow and invite the kids into what we're doing.
Right.
So
it's a beautiful area. It's absolutely gorgeous up here.
Yeah, I really love it up here.
Yeah. I love the way it even just sounds up here. It just sounds different.
Just quiet.
Yeah. Hear more birds than anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was actually the first year we were here because it was so dry. We didn't have any rain. It was like kind of the end of the drought. Well, we're still sort of in a drought, but heard no birds, no nothing, right?
Wow.
Then the rain came, and then now we've been building compost in the back, and so the birds
you're starting to
come in now. It's starting to get a lot more.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool.
And so I did kind of everything that we were going to do on the grant. I made sure that I wasn't going to do it personally, that I was going to have it all paid for. But now I'm healing and I'm able to do a lot more. And so we're restructuring the grant so that we can do more. And so we're going to be able to get a small plot harvester. Hey, enough! She's vicious, man.
That was the little one making all that noise?
Yeah. So we're getting a plot harvester and a cleaner so that we'll be able to grow grain here in Calaveras County.
Oh.
And so I've been talking to some different landowners
Nice.
about growing some grain here. So I'm excited about that.
I'm picturing that takes up quite a bit of space.
Small plot harvester nowadays, because for small grain, kind of America doesn't know anything about it because since like early 1900s, late 1800s, farming has become, way big to do like monocultures and stuff. So you get these big $100,000 machines, $500,000 machines. In Europe, they've been doing small forever. Small farms. It's just like, you got the city and you've got farms all around it. And that's kind of how it is in Europe all over. And so there's a Italian company, BCS, that makes, I have this walk-behind tractor over here that they make. And they just released this new sit-down little plot harvester for small crops, 5, 10 acres. So you see down there that little blue machine. It's hooked up right now to a chipper. But it can hook up to a tiller or a harrower or, all sorts of different attachments. So you can walk behind it and do different things.
Gotcha.
That was one of the machines, just like my tractor, that I sold before I moved to be able to move.
Yeah, right.
And, thanks to the grant, we've been able to replace some of our equipment. Yeah.
Nice.
But so this whole thing is all coming down, and this is going to be chickens and a small herb garden here, and then where these posts are. Basically, this whole area is going to be for the goats.
Oh, okay.
And then you see up there our 50-foot trailer through the woods there.
Oh, okay.
That's where we started our mill.
Oh, is that right?
When we were on a 5-acre parcel in Nevada County, I purchased that trailer and built the mill facility inside it.
Wow.
So that big mill wasn't in there, but the smaller mill.
But the smaller one was.
Yeah. But now I plan in the future to build it as a commercial kitchen, so we could do some baking and kind of have our own.
Right. Have that be the space that you do that. And
Yeah. Down here, we've been working on this kind of composting process area where we will. We're building fence kind of all throughout here, and this is going to be fenced off. We've fallen a lot of trees. This here, we're going to have a little stage here, and then down here is going to be kind of like a processing area where we have different places where we put the compost, and so we can turn it as we bring it down the hill, and then by the time it's down here, it'll be finished compost, which we can take out to here and out. This whole area out front is all going to be a food forest.
Oh,
so
wow.
we're taking a lot of these trees out, and
wow.
stump grinder, and we're going to clean up a lot of this out here. My friend JD is coming with his big equipment on Monday. He's going to help me kind of push this out and stuff. We're going to use some of these logs for raised beds in certain places.
Oh, yeah.
And then some of it we're just going to cut up in firewood, give some of it away. Some of the longer posts that you saw over there on the hill, we're going to use some of those and erect a teepee that we can build gourds or beans, stuff like that up on the teepee.
Wow.
That'll be fun for the kids because then they could put like prayers on the teepee or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And but this will be a walk through you pick kind of garden.
Wow.
So that's the plan.
I'm just now seeing how many trees you got down there. That's quite a bit of work.
Probably 45 trees total so far.
It's a lot of work.
Between us and PG&E.
Oh, is that right?
We were able to, because so many of them were close to the wires, we were able to get PG&E to come out. They took down 25 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this will be, when this is all cleaned up, this will kind of be an area where we can bring groups together and events and stuff.
Yeah, very cool. When's your goal for opening up to the public?
My goal is a soft opening next fall.
Next fall?
Yeah. So like our focus right now is cleaning this up and getting a fence up as soon as possible. This is all going to be deer fence all the way around. Cutting these trees, getting all this done as much as possible. Yeah, it's a lot of trees.
It's a lot of trees.
Yeah. A lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm no stranger to that.
Yeah, not afraid of that. Huh? And you say this whole area is going to be the pick it yourself?
Yeah, there will be a spot where you can come in right here. There'll be a cool little gate that we're building, and this will be a wash area right over here. And a little like farm store where you can come in and get some produce and that kind of thing. I don't expect a lot of foot traffic. I just we want to make this really a place where people can come for events when we're doing things, you know. But there'll be I'm hoping that there'll be enough local interest to be able to like know that they can count on produce and come during the season.
Yeah.
You know,
especially high quality stuff like that. That's
and we're really just focusing on the soil food web and what goes with what and planting the right things. Berries and a lot of perennials, and we're not going to do a whole lot of annuals.
Yeah.
So most people are used to annuals. They're used to having and we'll have a few annuals. We'll do your tomatoes and some squash, so like that, but not a lot.
Yeah. Right. Not like what people are used to when they think farm.
Yeah. No. This will be a food forest. Some fruit trees.
Food forest. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Great spot.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of the vision of what we're doing.
And it's not too hard to get to. Like for somebody that's not from around here, like they could find it really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it and I can't find anything. Like my sense of direction is horrible. And
Good. Good. That's another thing. My friend JD's coming. He's going to fix the road there, that big old ditch.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put some base rock in just a few more weeks.
It's very cool. I can see the vision.
Right on, man.
Yeah, I see it.
Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Love it.